So for somebody who's wanting to get into podcasting, do you think there's still an opportunity or is it too crowded?
I think absolutely now is the time. A lot of people think there's a tale of two people who went to a new market, and one person came. They were shoe salesmen, and one person came back and said it's not a good market for us because no one wears shoes, and the other person said it's the perfect market for us because no one wears shoes. And everyone now is aware of podcasting. This is your opportunity. Again, tell your story, or no one else will.
That's so good. I've never actually heard the shoe story.
Yeah.
Just so many good one-liners. Like if you could take 3 one-liners from that and implement that in your life, just think of the impact. That's why I love these shows, sharing that kind of inspiration for people, but take one thing away and then do it.
Huge.
Okay, so what specific and practical things have you implemented after your interviews?
Probably the biggest one would be after interviewing John Lee Dumas from EO Fire, who's had more than 2,000 episodes of the Entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Obviously a good mutual friend of ours, generated more than $20 million in revenue for his business through having the first daily podcast show for entrepreneurs. The biggest one for him was that energy shift of doing your life's work before your busy work. So doing your most creative work when you have the most energy, and then doing those things that you can do on autopilot later in the day. That's the busy work.
That's good. Have you had many like behind the scenes challenges or technical difficulties that you've had to handle?
There have been some in terms of Zoom, dogs barking, crappy audio. If you're dealing with people who haven't podcasted before and they have like a crappy mic, or they're using the computer mic, which is totally fine, but it doesn't lend itself to the best quality interview in terms of the sound or the content, because the sound can detract from the quality of the interview. And it's why we're here, and it's why almost exclusively now I'm doing these interviews here in the studio, because it completely alleviates those technical challenges.
What are the biggest mistakes you actually see podcasters make?
Being underprepared, being too transactional with the way they approach the relationships on the show. Because the reality is you get 10x the ROI on your show before anyone even hears the episode. And you do that through getting a connection through a mutual friend to the right guest, preparing for that, delivering them an amazing experience, and then the video assets afterwards. If you do that, the yield that you will get back on your podcast almost immediately is incredible. And to quantify what that could look like in 5 years, 10 years, like look at the networks that you and I have been able to establish, not just with each other, but through the guests, through all the people that we've been able to interview over the years, what it's worth to us now. What would that be worth in 20 years as we continue to stay connected with these people and everything else? So absolutely huge.